Much has changed in Arconis these past few years. The seat of power is altered in the west, and the unrest and lawlessness that followed the war has greatly diminished. The good people of the kingdom work hard to rebuild, as opportunities for regrowth are plenty. Of course, these times also provide ample opportunity for the wicked. While corruption was swept from the city of Corthan, one of its most prominent architects has forged a new alliance and fled east to rebuild his seat of power. Unbeknown to him, others covet what he possesses, and others still seek revenge for past vile deeds. A sinister and unlikely group seek to find and destroy this new alliance and to regain their former glory. So begins the rise of the fallen.
So yeah, this is you guys leaving the town of Bamforth on your makeshift cart. So from what I understand, Tolgar, because there's no room and you're so massive, you're going to ride the huge horse, right?
I do ride the huge horse.
With you riding that 13, 14 hands draft horse, it almost looks like a small, regular-sized
pony.
Horse. And the rest of you are all kind of cramped together on your little pull cart. Okay. Well, you leave Bamforth behind you and once again have set out on the open road taking the southernmost trail. Let me go ahead and pop up the map here for you guys. Alright, so everybody looking at the map for chat, you can see Bamforth. If you look at the, I don't know if you can see my cursor, but if you look at the furthest mountain range to the far right, you can see a little lake with Bamforth and some rolling hills beneath it. There's a road traveling through those hills that's traveling southeast, and the first port of call on the next lake down is Horndon on the Mere. That is where our heroes are heading. That map, 99% of it drawn by Son of Joxer, and I've changed a couple of things and added to it, but I've got to get it over to Joxer so he can continue to do it in his style, because mine are slightly different. But anyway, so there we go. At the end of the first day, you find yourself following a dirt track through the hills. You're now way south of the mining town. The hills are rolling and grassy with little vegetation. However, they do feel like this would be a really, really bad place for an ambush to happen. Like, the road is on a nice low point, there's a nice tall range of hills to the left, a nice tall range of hills to the right, and anybody that wanted to ambush would-be travelers would have a great vantage point to do so.
Polonius.
Yes.
Can you fly?
Well, actually, yes, I can.
Fly above us as we go through this pass. Just take a look out.
But the problem with that is then I will be the one that they'll be able to see. What if perhaps I made you fly instead?
I'm quite large. I might be seen more obviously. You're thin. You would blow in the wind.
What if we... Wait, Tracker, what if we perhaps had you fly? You could see in front of us and warned us if any danger was coming.
I was perhaps about to suggest doing exactly that. If you were so kind as to put that enchantment on me, that'd be maybe a little bit fun. But I do have to... I'll scout around. Let me scout ahead.
So, do you want me to make you fly, or do you prefer to walk?
Flying sounds easy.
Yeah, flying it is, and I make a little movement with my hands and cast it.
Is it like something like this?
Like
it's
what?
this. It's actually just this for 3
Yeah,
minutes.
I know that.
See, we all went there. It has to be that.
3 minutes of this.
All right.
Luckily, I
So,
took life today, so I'll throw that up. There you go.
okie dokie. All right. So, you're casting that on Kyla, yeah?
Kyla, yep.
All right, well, you got 10 minutes of airborne fun. Target gains a flying speed of 60 feet. When the spell ends, the target falls. If it's still afloat, unless it can stop the fall. Okay, so you might want to keep an eye on your time.
Basically,
1,000.
as soon as that happens, I'd be heading up, basically along because it's a pretty steep hill. You're saying?
They're not that steep, but I mean they're. They kind of go fairly high. You wouldn't be able to be ambushed suddenly. Like, they wouldn't suddenly be like, ha-ha, we're here. You definitely probably get at least, 30 or 40 seconds as they charge down the side of the hills towards your cart.
Okay.
But, yeah, it's fairly steep to the point where they would have a good vantage point.
So I'd take like a few steps into the air, as it were, to try and figure out how that works. So I'm assuming it works more like it's a will thing. And then I would just kind of direct myself upward for, I don't know, as long as it takes to see. Yeah, pretty high up, so I can basically see over the hills if there's like a party on that side or that side. Maybe if it gets like, if there's like a jungle on one side or something, or forest on the side, maybe like fly over that and check it out.
Okay.
The second you go up, Emlyn just sprawls in your empty space. Space.
Yeah, it is pretty cramped and not very comfortable riding on that thing, that's for sure. It was never meant to have people, so any or even the most basic rudimentary things that might have been done back in that day to soften the blow was never done to this cart. So it isn't fun. In fact, Tolgar is the only one that's probably even having a remotely comfortable time of it. All right, so chafing. Once Kyla is up in the wind and up high, as the wind is kind of blowing your hair, and you kind of squint against it, looking to the left and looking to the right. At first glance, you can't really see much. Most of the hills seem to be fairly barren. There's little vegetation or brush on any of them, which is good because it's less likely that anybody's hiding from you. But if you wish, you may give me a perception check, my friend.
And here's where we hope that my choice to put perception up as a skill works out.
Come on! Oh, I love it when we start this way. What do you say? I mean,
1.
I'm almost quite certain there is. I didn't see any hills, so I don't know what this ambush talk is about. But thank you for letting me fly.
Right, yeah. It all looks completely clear. You can't see anything at all. Nothing that would lead you to believe that you're about to run into any kind of potential ambush, for sure.
Okay. Well, that's great. My character has proven to do nothing useless this entire campaign. I mean, you're curling so far into it, but like,
it's like I've got you've got a conviction.
Yeah, you roll a lot of ones.
She's got fire.
No.
Fire in your belly.
So I got a question here, Gore. I have comprehend language, which is a ritual for me.
Okay.
I'm wondering if I could cast that and just kind of to myself quietly take out the tablet that I wasn't able to read beforehand and see if I could actually read it with that spell.
Pop it up for me.
Sure.
Okay. So basically, you can also understand any written language that you see, but you must be touching the surface on which the words are written. It takes about 1 minute to read 1 page. So, in theory, you have every confidence that would work.
Okay,
of course, you have to spend 10 minutes. If you want to do it as a ritual, you got to spend 10 minutes sitting there going, oh.
Yeah, well, with Kyla saying that she didn't see any danger, I wouldn't think why I wouldn't have all the time in the world.
I would say you would not be able to do the ritual on the cart, however. You'll have to stop and get off and do it and then continue.
I'm just going to cast it then.
Okay. And the reason I'm saying that is because the point of a ritual is you lay shit out and have to have a little bit of space and do all the things, and you're on a cart right now, and it's kind of really tough to do anything. So,
okay, then I'll just cast it then.
Okay.
We're on a marble road.
So
Yeah, I'll just reach into my pack and take out the tablet and let's see if I can give this another shot here. And just kind of.
Alrighty. Okie dokie. Let's see. Let's see what you would have won. Let me just pop this up here.
2 spells in like 30 seconds, man. I'm going through quick.
Trying to drain you.
They're gonna burn all your spells, and then
Good
you're
luck.
gonna get ambushed.
hard mode is.
I
when
got
you
plenty
have
more.
You have all the mages just use all their spells right away. That's hard mode in D&D.
Right. Okay, the second you begin to read the words on the page, they suddenly all begin to merge together. It's really weird. They create what looks like a kind of a long, twisty, swirly shape. And then the swirly shape seems to begin to rise a little bit from the page, almost in 3D.
Ooh.
It's
Do I have
very
to make my eyes weird?
Well, it's very.
See it?
You can only see it if you're looking at it in green and red shades. But basically, it does that as you stare at it, and all of a sudden, it literally comes up off the page with the head of a ginormous venomous snake, shh, and it snaps forward to bite you on the arm.
Spell.
I'm for sure going to throw it in front of me and go backwards at the snake.
All right. In surprise and alarm, it snaps at you. Suddenly, you hurl the thing, away from you. It goes. Are you throwing it off the cart?
No.
Oh, no, you're throwing it
Okay.
at one of us, aren't you?
Absolutely, yeah. Just
Then if
away
it's
from
staying on the cart, now there is a there is a space next to where Kyla was laying, but I know Emlyn laid out in that space.
God dang it.
So, where do you want me to randomly roll to see where it gets thrown, or would you like to nominate?
Nah, let's make it random.
Whistle.
Hey, you're
no
supposed to nominate Shagget. This is
just
how
thinking-
Harry.
Oh, right.
I'm
Will.
only on 20 health, guys.
It can't
Come on.
be you, and it can't be Tolgar, because Tolgar's
be
on the
me.
horse.
I'm not afraid of no snake.
Were you doing this at the same time that Kyla is airborne?
Yeah, I would have.
Then it can't be Kyla either, can it? So, 1,
then
2,
it
or
can be an
3
empty
would be
space.
Lilith. 4, 5, or 6 would be.
Either way,
Emily.
shag it.
Wait, there's
to
no
Shagget.
empty
Throw it
space
to
at all.
Shagget.
People
No,
not
because
on the-
Dude, it's gonna go on me. We all know how
Because
this
there's
is
4
gonna go.
spaces on the back of the car, and when Kyla flew up, Emlyn
No,
made the
'cause-
exact
and that's
point
the-
of going.
Gore, I'd like to argue. I'd like
and
to
he
argue.
chose to
because
take
of
the
that.
space. So,
Because of that, I'd like to argue that he's taking up twice as much space as Lilith.
I think that's a fair argument.
Well,
I gotta
I
say.
would
One or
agree with
two,
you.
4, 5, 6.
So I'm gonna say 1 to 4 is Shagget, 5 or a 6 will be Lilith then. Because you are absolutely
so
right.
much.
That's absolutely correct. He is going to be taking up more room. All right, let's see.
Oh man, they should.
Yeah, Shagget.
Freaking old man just threw a tablet at me in panic. Do I see the snake thing emerge from the thing, or is that just what
Well,
he's-
you would have. It depends, doesn't it? If you were kind of laying back and relaxing,
I was, yeah.
probably not. I mean,
I
probably
totally
not.
was.
So, yeah, that's probably not going to happen. Okay. So yeah, the little snaky thing that leapt up and snapped at him. Now, as soon as he throws it, and discards it, and it flies through the air, and you feel a large stone slab land on your chest, and it's heavy. So, I mean, it kind of probably will knock the wind out of you. But, yeah, it's that's about all that really happens, because the snake doesn't attempt to lash out and attack you.
Well, I immediately shove the thing off of me, like towards the center, and spring up. You're throwing stones. You're what?
I'm just placing it away from me. I'm not throwing it. Please be careful.
That's not how
it's very fragile.
That's not how it felt. I'm gonna look at the stone tablet. What do I see anything, or just as it's laying there?
To you, it looks exactly the same as it did the first time you looked at it. It's a broken green slab with lots of weird textural writing on it.
And I can still see a snake on it?
No, it has reverted back
gone.
to where it was before.
Okay.
But that's as you're looking at it. That's not as you actually are attempting to study and read it.
Okay.
Thelonious,
Yes.
I honestly thought we were further along in this relationship.
Wait, did you not? Did you
I
not?
came in with tablets.
Did you not see the snake on the page?
I'm gonna look again at the tablet.
Yes, I was reading the page. I was studying it. I was so close to unlocking its secret. And all of a sudden, this dastardly snake sprang up and lashed out at me. I got it away as quick as I could. Unfortunately, you were lying there. I guess I didn't notice you come into that space. I thought it was unoccupied. I do apologize. But it seems it has gone back into the tablet itself. I don't quite understand.
So I'm gonna say, so like a ward, and
Yes.
Can I do a knowledge arcana as I ask that question
Sure.
for anything specific?
Absolutely.
Hey,
All right. With your knowledge arcana, and go ahead, just because otherwise it will seem rather weird. Thelonious, make the roll as well.
Sure.
hey.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Yeah, so Thelonious, now you've calmed down enough to comprehend what just happened. And Emlyn, based on what you've just been told, yeah, you're familiar with, not that either of you have ever seen it or cast it or know anyone that does, but you have heard of such spells that are deliberately put obscurely in text to protect them from being read. And attempts to read what is on them without taking deliberate efforts to nullify the magic first could be quite fatal.
So my question is, I believe I cast Detect Magic on it at first, and you said there wasn't anything magical
There was
about it.
no magic, no.
Okay.
Now, I will say this, as soon as you rolled a 24, that does seem incredibly odd to you, because you believe, at the very least, that while you probably wouldn't have been able to tell what the magic was, if there was a spell cast on that thing, it probably should have radiated some form of magic. But it definitely did not, which is probably quite, what's the word, curious to you.
Yes, quite curious. Indeed. Emlyn, do you perhaps know the way to banish the ward spell that has been put on this tablet?
At this point, Kyla would probably be coming back. Just
Okay,
you
so
know.
she's fluttering
Swoop in.
down.
Yeah.
You gonna buzz a tower?
I'm just floating alongside at this point, because you never told me that it dispels, so I just assume I can fly. Honestly, like this was one of Kyla's goals
Touch the sun!
since childhood, was just being able to fly. So, you know, being able to con herself into this position was pretty big for her.
All right.
To answer your question,
Okay.
entropy and corruption. That's my field of expertise. So, destroy the tablet would be my solution.
But we don't
well,
want to destroy it.
The other thing I wanted to point out, Is Thelonious, it is unusually hot today. It really is. I mean, you're quite sweaty. This, especially all this exertion, this excitement. Oh yeah, gotta wipe my brow. It is incredibly hot. Incidentally, to the rest of you, absolutely not. It is not hot. It is probably like 65 degrees. So
the old man is getting the old man sweats.
Hey, robes are really insulated for heat, okay?
I'm wearing robes too.
No, but yours are purple.
Yeah, they absorb.
Purple's a cooler color than gray.
Right. Which is kind of true, actually.
Yeah. But
yeah, sorry, I don't know.
Yeah, he's quite hot.
Are you okay?
Yes,
you're dripping under your hat.
Yes, it's very taxing when you have quite as much power as I do, and even exuding the smallest bits of it takes quite a toll.
There we are, back to where we used to be with our relationship before you threw things at me.
What's that commotion back there?
What? Oh, nothing, just dealing with magic things you wouldn't understand.
All right. Well.
Oh, okay.
So Kyla, from your flying thing, so what's your game plan? You're just buzzing along with the car, enjoying the fact that you don't have to walk?
Alongside because I can fly. That's amazing.
All right. Give me a height.
I mean, what height is the cart at? That kind of changes.
The cart is probably no more than about 3 feet total off the ground.
Oh wow, that's a low cart.
It's a hand cart. Remember, this is not.
It's a low rider.
It's also kind of weird because
friends.
what makes it worse is because it is not a full-blown cart. It's at an angle like that being pulled by such a large horse. So that's the other thing is you keep sliding towards the back over all the bumps and have to shuffle yourselves back up to the other end. So that just makes things even more uncomfortable.
Head level for that would probably put me 4.5 feet above the 3, so we'll call that 5. 5'3". That's like so about 8 feet.
Yeah,
about
okay.
8 feet up.
So not far. All right. Well, probably about 3 or 4 minutes after that, you suddenly run out of steam and go crashing to the ground, which is quite a surprise and a shock. It doesn't really hurt you. If you would like,
I'd like to make it. Maybe
you can give me an acrobatics check to see how well you take that fall.
Okay.
If you roll really bad, it might hurt, but...
No, it's just not graceful.
Okay, yeah, so you do go crashing into the ground and probably landing ass first in the dirt next to the cart.
So you're going to see me look over and say,
"Oh, did I forget to say that there was a time limit on that spell?"
I'm just waiting for you to get to the age where it's cute, and I'm gonna get up.
You thought that spell was an infinite amount of time? You silly girl.
Togar, slow down. Kyla needs to sit back in here.
I'm gonna glance over, not even realizing that she fell. Like, and I'll slow down the cart.
I didn't even know I was flying ahead.
Kyla embarrassingly can climb back on the cart. Tolgar's so out of it, he's just up there. All right. Okay.
He's like ambushed there.
Well, a couple of hours later, as you clear the hills, ahead of you, you can see 2 wagons, one on either side of the road. The one to the north has a small group of men kind of hoarded around the back of it, scratching their heads, and it seems, what's up, Jess, that that particular cart looks like it might have thrown a wheel. The other cart seems to be intact and is just pulled to the side of the road. Let me go ahead and move you to this map.
Uh-oh.
There you go. All right, so you can see the size of a typical cart or wagon, and then in comparison, look at the short, dumpy little thing that you guys are on. Okay, yeah, so you can see them. The cart on the southern part of the road, the only person visible is a woman who seems to be just sitting there, darning with doing some kind of crochet or whatever with a needle and thread. The 3 gentlemen are clearly trying to get the cart in a position where they can resituate the wheel, but they just are seriously struggling to do so as you guys begin to approach.
They wouldn't happen to be in a hurry. Could be able to get ourselves a real cart out of this.
Yes. The one that has the wheels on it.
Only objection, what if it's a known cart and we are the ones that people spot us on it? They might ask questions.
I'm saying we could talk to them and ask them if they'd like to trade if they're in a hurry.
Trade with this rinky-dink piece of crap.
Well, if they're in a hurry, they might. That's the thing.
Yes.
If they need to get out of here, we could trade up for that cart that's broken. He can wiggle his fingers at it, get it fixed. I don't know what you do.
Yes.
Destroy stuff more. If you want to hit this cart once we're off it.
Yes, simple principles of supply and demand. And leverage. Yes, it's a good plan.
Yes.
I
When I ask people to trade, they trade.
I am all for your plans. My only concern is I remember spending the better part of a year on the run, and I would rather not be on the run so early in our adventure.
Right, so let's not shoot anybody.
I don't think you understood what Tolgar was suggesting with his asking. He meant it really, literally, by force, with violence.
Maybe not let him be part of the bargain.
Oh, you want to give it a go? Well, by all means.
I'm gonna go ahead and hop off the front of the cart and start proceeding towards him.
All right, okay.
Signal this if you need help.
All right, Kyla. So as you're getting over it, you can hear, "Oh, for fuck's sake, hold it steady!" And he goes, "I can't. This thing weighs a bloody ton." He goes, "Look, we're gonna have to unload it." He goes, "Oh, but it'll take forever, and we haven't got." Hang on, someone's coming. Oh,
It sounds like you're in a hurry.
hello, miss. Oh,
Hello?
well, yeah, unfortunately, we've got a bit of a problem. If you look just further down the road, you see that dirty great rock down there on the street? Well, dipshit here wasn't watching where he was going, and he crashed over the thing, and it threw the back left-hand wheel of the cart. We just need to get it up high enough that we can push the darn thing and hammer it back in place and get a sturdy peg in there. She doesn't look like she's got much muscle. But one more person, but what about that lot? And he points down the road, as you guys can see one of them is pointing. At that point, the girl on the other cart, before I do anything else, Kyla, as soon as you are a lot closer than everybody else, give me a perception check real quick.
Oop. Oh, there goes.
All right, right before she speaks, you hear her go, "Oh, you need to hurry. We haven't got all day. It'll be too late, and we'll never make it in time." Oh, quite. No, we're in a very, very big hurry. I don't suppose you're all willing to help out, are you? I mean, we've got a couple of coins in it for you if you do.
Well,
What about that big fella up there on that bloody grey horse? He looks like he can lift the fucking thing by himself.
the trouble with that is when he tries to lift things, they often break. He's not so much good for repair as he is for breaking it, you know.
Do I see other heads bobbing back there at the back behind him? What about them? Could they help?
The old man, the lass, and the little goat boy. I don't think you want their help. I'll put it this way: if you want to maybe trade cards, we could maybe switch the rigging on it. If you could fit it all in ours.
He says, "Come here," and he beckons you to come round to the back of the cart.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and follow him.
While that is going
Thanks for
on,
that.
I want to cast a spell.
Okay, what do you want to cast? Love Jeep, thanks for the cheer, buddy. Much love.
Thanks, Jeep.
Let's have a quick look and see if we have any notification with said cheer. Oh, just the cheer. But you know what? That's plenty good enough. Okay, what are you casting, Elmer?
I'm going to say a Deprehender, and I'm going to look at the lady and cast Detect Thoughts.
Ooh. Okay.
I'm going to try to read her mind, surface level, see what she's what she was talking about when she said we don't have time.
Okay, so she gets a DC 16 Wisdom save, first of all. So let's make that. Can she block out your thoughts? Odds are no, but you never know. We'll see. No, she cannot. Okay,
Hey.
Nice.
all right. The initial surface thoughts is she is frightened and scared.
I'm going to keep probing.
Yeah, you are. Okay,
Can resist with intelligence versus intelligence check during its action.
yep.
So I guess I have to do an intelligence check as well.
Yeah, so meanwhile, so that's that round. Okay, so Kyla, you've gone around to the back. It is loaded up with crates. Like the whole thing is loaded from back to front with crates. He's like, "There's the problem, you see. Ain't no way we're gonna get that lot on that little cart of yours." So
Like the other one, and I'm gonna kind of back up a little bit and kind of like try and look in the other cart and see what's in that.
there's nothing in there that you need to pay any attention to. That's just our living quarters. And he kind of very quickly runs over in front of the, like, sprints over there and stands in front of it. Like, no, just
I'd like to
5
do a
gold. We'll
perception
give you
check.
5 gold if you can just give us hands to get this cart up so that we can get the wheel on it. I mean, come on, 5 gold just for 2 minutes work. You're not going to get better than that for an offer. Come on, give us hands.
I'm going to kind of casually put my hand over my little hip quiver here, just to have it at the ready. But I'm also I'm going to take a look around really quick if I can.
All right.
To gauge what's going on.
Right, so before I go back to Shaggy, give me a perception check. As as you are specifically looking and where you're where you actually are standing.
All right, perception.
No, not you.
Oh,
Kyla.
Okay.
Yeah,
Perception.
but right before I go over,
Humiliated.
right before I go to you.
Slam.
Okay, I thought you were having, because when he said right before that,
Yeah,
And
no, I
then-
meant right before I go over to
Okay,
Shaggy.
so perception.
Give me a perception.
Maybe
check,
it'll be
yeah.
better this time.
Okay. What you do notice is up here, hiding in this tree, appears to be another person. He is kind of decked out in forest brown and green. He is hiding up there, and he seems to be intently, kind of like watching over the whole situation. All right, Shagget, over to Emlyn. All right, so if you continue to focus on the creature, Phaler learns insight into reasoning, emotional state, and something that looms large in its mind.
So
I actually rolled that because I rolled the failed save already.
okay.
Because you only make that. I think you get to do the surface forts regardless.
Yeah, the
And
target
then-
is aware. Right, the target is aware of deeper spell probe and can resist with intelligence versus intelligence.
So I actually
But
made it already.
Okay. Before I do that, the first round, after I sense the fear, I am going to say to everybody, the woman is afraid. And then I'm going to keep going. Like,
Okay.
that's, I say that to the party.
Most women are afraid.
Yes, it is not very
Okay.
surprising.
Insight into reasoning. She is afraid that something bad is going to happen to her, and you get the decided feeling that something or someone is in the cart with her, behind her. But she is scared of that individual, and she is afraid of her life. And you kind of get this vision of her imagining what it might feel like to have a very long blade shoved straight through her back and sticking out of her stomach.
Okay, so very under my breath, I'm going to say, she is afraid for her life. There's someone in the back of that carriage who's threatening to her, fearful of her. She's either prisoner or something of that design.
At this
This
point,
is not what it seems.
Poor woman.
the guy at the back of the cart is now kind of moving casually back over to get closer to Kyla,
Yeah.
and he is
I was
like,
gonna say, if I saw the guy in the tree, I'm assuming it's an ambush.
okay.
I'm just gonna shoot him.
Okay. All right. Hashtag shoot first. Okay.
Yeah. No, I'm just
Take
gonna
a
shoot
shot.
the guy in the tree. Okay. Right. So I think it's with advantage because I have a surprise round. Yeah.
Yes. He is unaware of it happening. for sure.
Okay, so, yeah.
So yeah, you'll get advantage on it.
Which gives me my sneak attack damage,
With
which
an
is
18,
needed.
Okay, yeah, that will hit him, even though he's hiding up in the tree. So give me another 2d6 on.
Yep. So, have that.
All right, for 11. Okay, so you let the arrow fly. It goes buzzing through the air. Before the arrow even leaves the bow, the guy next to you is going, no! Like that. The arrow flies. It hits the guy at a glance. He is going to make a dex check. And... Okay. He's kind of, you hear him, oh! and wince as he kind of spins a little bit in the tree, but he manages to cling on enough not to fall out of it.
Makes him easier to shoot again, yeah.
The man next to you goes, he's with us! He's with us! He's keeping an eye out while we change the bloody wheel! You don't mean us no harm!
Right, and I'm going to go ahead and pull out another arrow and just point it at him in case he does anything to move closer.
What the hell are you doing?
Why would you have a man hiding in a tree just because he busted a wheel? I don't believe it for a second. Don't move towards me.
He goes, I'm not going anywhere. And the other two at this point have, walked backwards away from the cart. We don't mean anybody any trouble. There's nothing funny going on. We're just trying to travel up the main road to Bamforth. Because apparently, we're trying to deliver some goods up there, and this just happened. I mean, it's a dangerous territory, and while we're all here trying to do the best to get the cart up, we just figured it would make sense for him to climb up that tree to get a good lookout.
Right, and then you're all worried about me seeing what's in this cart here. Eh?
No, you don't need to look in the back of there. As I said, there's just personal effects. Nothing to interest a young lass back there.
Yeah, personal effects, you say you're in a hurry.
Aye. Well, looking in there's not going to speed things up, is it? We need help doing this. Look.
Can I see from
7
here if
gold.
there's actually space in the back of that cart?
This cart here, it's actually got like a canvas closing it at the back, so you can't see in it at all.
There's no room for any of that in there. I'm gesturing with the bow.
Well, if there is, he goes, if we load that up, we won't have room for it. He goes, if we can't get the wheel fixed, we wouldn't have a choice but to unload it and load it all in there. But, I mean, why won't you help us? There's plenty of you here. You could easily help us. I mean, I'm offering you 7 gold.
7 gold.
For a couple of minutes' work. Wouldn't even break a sweat, that one. And he keeps pointing back at the huge barbarian on the horse.
There is something I want to do, especially if I saw Kyla shoot the arrow, and after Emlyn said there's somebody dangerous, I'm just going to say to Emlyn, I go get man and wagon, and I'm going to point this way.
Okay.
And I start getting off the horse.
Alright. Okay.
Yeah, while that commotion is going on, I will get off as well and keep my eyes.
Right, in the commotion, the lookout
How close
being
is this guy next to me?
he was probably. I mean, he's as close as he is. So
I don't want to retroactively measure how far he is from me.
Give me a second, and I'll tell you.
It's I'd be backing away to the point where I'm comfortable with the bow.
I mean, he's about 10 feet, probably.
Okay, yeah. So I'll just up there.
Okay, with that, the person up in the tree who, is just regained. He goes, I think they're coming! Yells down. And you hear, oh, hell. Never mind. Don't worry about it. You can have the cart. And they all start to make a sudden run towards this cart.
I'm coming in hot, though.
Okay. Right, they're obviously... they keep looking over their shoulder as they do so, and they all seem to be somewhat afraid. As well they must be if they're willing to lead an entire wagon loaded down with goods behind.
I'm going to look to where they're looking.
Okay, further down the road, you can see another cart. It is a thick, heavy wooden cart being pulled by another large horse, and it is loaded down with men. One of them seems to be wearing heavy metallic armor. As they get close, you see another gentleman who has like a red crest on the top of his helm. He goes, "There they are!" And they continue to scuffle forward. As their car is like bulldozing down the road in your direction.
I'm gonna shout out, "They're thieves!" And I'm gonna just go ahead and loose another arrow at the guy in the tree.
Okay, well, he has climbed down the tree and is about to make his way running in that direction. Okay, you want to shoot at him?
Yeah.
All right, go for it.
All right. There we go. Regular old attack roll. Please be okay this time. Hey.
Nice.
All right, the second arrow nails him solidly in the shoulder. He spins around and is laying on the ground, now wincing in pain. It looked like it was a pretty serious blow. All right, they're all kind of rushing forward to get on this cart. Tolgar, what do you want to do?
I was going to run towards the cart, and when I got to the cart, go and try to flip it on
Flip
its
the
side.
whole wagon?
On its side, yeah.
You won't flip it. You might be able to, like,
Push it over.
and try to heave it up and topple it by turning around and getting your back in it. But I mean, it's no quick action. It's not like you've just lost a game of Monopoly to a 12-year-old. There's no table flip here, Tolgar.
Listen, I believe it.
All right, give me a strength test.
I got the next one here, I think. Come on, Jane, you got it.
Tolgar. I mean, it's a big car, a big wagon. 21. Okay. So you reach underneath it and grab it, and all your veins begin to pop. And as it does so, you are lifting it, but it's very apparent to you that there's a lot in this cart. You're not entirely sure if you can actually be able to get it to flip or to tip it straight over.
I'm too stubborn to give up.
But hey, I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying. Right. So he's doing that. At which point they're like, "Well, what are you doing? What are you doing?" One of them says, "Stop that! We're all in danger. You too? Are you stupid?" Okay.
Yes.
With that, you suddenly. So you guys that can see the front, Tolgar, you'll see it from your angle. The three of you on the cart, you're suddenly aware of an arm comes flying out from inside the back of the cart, and a blade is placed underneath the woman's neck. A voice says from muffled inside, he says, "Get aboard the cart now. Hurry. If you do not, I will slit her throat." They're like,
Shoot.
"Let's just let us go on our way. There's no reason for you to keep us here. As I said, you can have that entire cart. It's loaded down with trade goods, probably worth hundreds of gold. Just take that. Have the horse. Have the cart. Fix the cart yourself. Fix the cart. Just let us be on our way. You don't understand what's going on. We're all in danger." Okay, yes. "I will not tell you a second time. Do it now, or she dies."
Thanks.
You can hear all this, but of course, it's unlikely that he has seen any of you guys because there's just an arm poking through with a knife, a long bladed dagger with a red handle.
Right. So Kyla's probably working her way up towards the guy who she's basically shot down.
Okay, go ahead and do your full move or whatever.
Yep. Is he still conscious?
He is barely conscious. He is alive, but I mean, the arrow is embedded firmly in him. He's more like, and blood is everywhere. It's like he's done for if somebody doesn't do something about it.
I'm gonna ask him what he's doing here. More along the lines of, so what's actually happening here?
All right. Again, he's so kind of out of it. He's almost incoherent. So you're like, he's just like,
Great. I'm gonna step back if he's reaching out. If he's covered in blood,
Okay.
I don't want that on me.
His left hand is covered in blood because that's where he grabbed where the arrow stuck in, and his chest is bathed in it. You probably it's when I say it's like in the shoulder, it's like right here. You probably it very well could have gashed the tip of his heart or something like that. There's an awful lot of blood.
He doesn't have very long then, does he?
Nope. All right. Anybody over at the cart? You guys want to do anything that's still there?
Question.
Uh-huh.
Oh wait, cart as in our cart. Never mind. I feel like Lilith would do something if she heard Emlyn say there is a woman in danger.
That
she
would be
care
her
about
MO.
that.
She usually does tend to rush to the aid of
So
women
she'd
in danger.
She'd probably get out of the cart for sure and
Alright.
go run over to this girl.
I would honestly just look back to Thelonious and be like, want to do something here?
Not particularly, no. It seems that if they're leaving the cart, which was the entire point of us engaging in this in the first place, wasn't it?
It does seem like it's stolen, though, so if there's people in the distance come upon us with it, we won't get it anyway.
Well, it seems as though they are arriving now, so maybe we could sort this all out.
Yeah, so I really wouldn't do anything. I just watch this play out, and I don't really care for the woman on top of the cart.
Nope, me neither. Nope, I would sit back there as well.
All right, okay, so Lilith, so she can see that she can see the guy's arm round the dude's head, and she can actually, as she's right that close, can see a pair of eyes peeking out from below the bottom of the thing. With the other hand, he reaches forward and he goes, Woman in black, come here, quickly.
Unhand her, probably. Are you talking about the one that has the girl?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if she sees the gaze, wouldn't she just do a telepathic gaze?
Good point.
Yeah.
Let's see what that would be. No, that's just to read a surface thought. So yeah, she would do that, I think.
All right.
How clearly can I tell from here that these are the guard?
They're definitely wearing what looks like some kind of uniform. Most of them have got chain shirts on and shields. Some of them have got longbows, which they've already got out with an arrow knocked. The one with the red crest is wearing full chain all over. Looks like he's probably some kind of commander or something like that, or leader. And the gentleman that you can now see much clearer is decked from head to toe in full plate.
So, the guard.
All right, okay. So she wants to do telepathic gaze. And the thrall can communicate via telepathy with any creature within 100 feet that meets her gaze. She can read surface thoughts. The target can attempt to resist by making a willpower save. If the thrall succeeds, she gains advantage on her next attack roll with +3. Okay, he will attempt to do that. And that would be a will save. So for him, it would be a 3. Nope, he fails. So, okay, so she can read his surface thoughts. He's clearly panicking at this point. Whoever it is in an utter panic. And she can get a +3 on any skill or ability check versus the target. And advantage if she chooses to attack on her next attack roll against him. Alright. Okay, once again he reiterates. He says, Woman in black! Come talk to me, quickly. I'll make it worth your while.
So I think she would not attack, but I would try to prize the knife, because reasoning with someone who's panicked doesn't make sense, and I don't think Lilith would give a shit that much about that.
Okay.
So I would argue that she would approach like she was being requested to as he was, but then try to wrench the knife free and push the woman off.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. All right.
Be a
That
grapple?
makes sense. It would indeed be a grapple.
With
I mean, all she's trying to do is
advantage, or-
pull the arm clear and then shove the woman, stick her left boot on the woman and push her off the cart, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. She will get advantage on it because technically that is her attack.
Hey.
Her strength is really bad, so.
Still 16.
Still not bad.
Yeah, I rolled. That was a good roll.
I'm not giving him his strength bonus because he's compromised in a position and he's only using one arm. So he's just getting a straight D20 roll. And yeah, she's strong enough. Okay, so she grabs his wrist and pulls it back, sticks her left foot in the woman, and the woman's like, "Oh!" and she goes flying off the cart and crashes down on the ground next to Tolga. All right, with the other hand, so she's got hold of this hand. He grabs hold of her shoulder with the other hand and is attempting to pull her in to the cart itself. So this will be.
I want to do something now.
Okay. What do you want to do?
I'm guessing this is like canvas.
It is.
Okay, seeing that happen, I would drop the cart immediately and just punch my hand through the canvas. Thinking, that's the guy right there.
All right, go ahead. Yeah, I mean, you can hear the noise. You know his approximate location. Make an attack roll. You can't see him, so you would be making a improvised or unarmed attack with a disadvantage because of the fact you can't see what you're punching.
Imagine being this guy. Oh, man.
I had a 20 there!
Doesn't count. Sorry, disadvantage. All right, well, you do rip a good fist-sized hole in the canvas, but unfortunately, you don't actually hit anything. You feel wood. Something hits. You feel like, poof, and what you just punched was the side of a wooden crate, which probably just cracked. Okay, so his counter roll, he's now trying to grapple and pull her into the cart.
Oh, I'll have to do that again, don't I?
Yep. But it'll be a straight roll for her this time.
Right.
But he's rolled really bad. She could pull it off. Okay, yep, she's easily able to resist and stop being pulled in there. Okay. When she does that, he just says, "For the love of all that is holy, if you want to be rich, you'll save my life." Okay, with that being said, the cart and its worldly friends all kind of stop right here. And the guards begin to leap off the side of the cart. And the guy with the plate mail slowly clambers down to get to the front. Alright, what do you guys want to do?
Emlyn puts his hood up, covers his horse, and then goes to the front of the horse that they have best, right, and just pats it reassuringly.
Okay.
That's it. He's not attacking, not doing anything. He's just watching.
I'm just gonna run up and be like, "Oh, thank God you're here!" And I'm putting like my bow away.
Okay. All right. With that, the man in plate mail through his visor says, "Sergeant Randall, get your men in position." All right. With that, you see this guy raise his arm and do a circular motion, and they all begin to kind of like rush into various different guarded positions with a bowman and a guy with a sword and a shield at each position. Splitting off into pairs. What's everybody doing at this point? I know what Kyla's doing. She's kind of... Now, they haven't actually acknowledged you. I mean, you saw the plate-mailed head turn, look in your direction, and then came back. Okay. So he's aware that you're there, but he didn't really give you any acknowledgement. Emily's up there brushing the horse by the looks of it.
I think Lilith would jump down from the horse, help the lady up, and back up. I think that would be her... With the old lady.
All right.
In a protective manner.
Okay. Tolgar, what do you want to do?
My punch, after that punch I made.
Uh-huh.
And just be like, huh? And just be standing in the same place, just looking at the...
With your hand still through the...
Yeah.
All right. Jane.
Yeah.
Oh, are we having a repeat to Marks of Entry?
Do you know what deja vu is? So, in Marks of Intrigue, do you remember when your character stuck her arm through the bars to a person that had a blade, and she couldn't see what was on the other side of it? You've just done the same thing here. Okay.
You're Tolgar, but you're Tolgar.
But you're Tolgar.
You're a badass.
All right. You feel suddenly something grab your arm as it's just sitting there through the thing. Suddenly, two hands grab hold of your arm vigorously. What does Tolgar want to do? Pull his arm back? Give me a grapple check.
Pull it back with
you are using only one arm, so half your strength bonus.
That's still like 100, so...
Yeah, just pull them right through the tent. Just like pull a person out of the car.
You're gonna pull his arms off.
He has a total of 16. Okay, yep. Okay. So basically this is what happens. Tolgar pulls his arm through. You see two other black-clad arms come pulling through. And only once he realizes he's been fully exposed does the guy have the sense to let go of Tolgar's arm. Now, with his upper torso and arms poking out the hole, looking rather... is a gentleman with like a black cap. He's got long, straight black hair, a black mustache, kind of a dark-skinned looking fellow. And he literally has the blade in his teeth. Like, his long blade is like... because he was doing this. And he's like... At that point, you hear the man in plate mail say, "Ah, there he is. Everybody, move forward." Okay. The man looks at Tolgar and just says, "Help me. Do not let them take me alive, and I will make you rich beyond your wildest dreams."
I don't like your accent.
No.
She had to go there, didn't she?
Evil campaign.
Alright, with that, instead, he is going to burst out of the front and leap down on the side and make a run for it. So you literally just suddenly see him duck back and you hear scuffle, scuffle. And okay,
I wasn't trying to stop him.
Okay, so let's get initiative for everybody concerned, because this is going to be an interesting fiasco, I feel. So... let's everybody roll me initiatives. Ooh. Kyla, nice 26 there.
Solid 8.
Yeah.
Tolgar 16. Let's see. Thelonious Conch with a 17. Emlyn. Tolgar. Why did you roll? You get to roll twice for your initiative, don't you? Which one is yours and which one's... okay, the first one was Emlyn. And the second one, the last one was for Lilith. Gotcha.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah,
it said in there. Alright, we're going to make a roll for the guy who is leaping out of the cart to see where his initiative is going to go. Alright. Going to make a dice roll for all the guards, including the guard sergeant. Ooh. And a separate one for the dude in plate. Okay. All right, so with all that being said, so let's go ahead and go through the numbers then. Kyla, no surprise here, you get to act first. What does Kyla want to do? Bearing in mind, of course, she's probably doesn't have anything close to a line of sight to be able to...
Right. So, poor guy up there is dying. Yeah. These people seem all confused. So, have I noticed a change in the demeanor of the guards, like where they're looking after the guy jumped out?
Absolutely. As soon as that happens, you notice that the guards all begin to move. Rushing forward.
Okay. I'd probably try and get around the backside of the cart So
Okay.
move like 30 feet. That can put me there. Oop. And I'm seeing like a bunch of people charging after this one guy, right?
You'll be able to... Yeah, there's a dude that's trying to run away from the carts and the wagons and all the peoples.
I'm just gonna knock an arrow and I'm gonna shout out, "Are we shooting to kill?"
All right. Let's see. Lilith Edenwood. Actually, the guards go before her. All right. So this guard is gonna take a shot at the running gentleman, and it will hit him. All right. Damage.
Can I take that as a yes?
Well, he barely nicks him, so...
Not entirely sure.
Yep. The other guards can't actually do anything from where they are, so they're just going to use their full movement from their position to try to get closer. Alrighty. Next will be Lilith. What does she wish to do?
Just continue to fall back, probably behind the cart with the lady.
Okay. All right. So she pulls the woman to safety. As she does so, the woman is saying, "We had nothing to do with this, you understand? He had us at knife point. He was hiding. He was running from those men. And he climbed aboard and told us to say nothing. And if we hid him, when we got to Bamforth, if he got there alive, that he'd give us a reward. It wasn't that we wanted to hide him, you understand? It's just, well, he seemed to be rather ruthless and murderous." All right. Let's see. Who do I have next on my list? With a 17. I can't even read my own writing. That would be Thelonious.
Yeah. I'm gonna kind of look back to her and say, "Ruthless and murderous," you say. Oh, sounds like a terrible man. I'm gonna look over in his direction and kind of give a little wiggle and cast levitate on him.
All right. You got two big horses between you and him. Might be difficult to see him from there.
Oh well, I would move to where I can see him. And cast.
You get a move. You know, you're gonna get your move first. So
yeah.
If you get to there, I mean, you can see that he's running to where he will come in the open. So the most logical thing would be you could hold your action until you can get a clear line of sight.
Then I would, yeah, I would
do that. So that's
yeah,
probably okay. That makes sense. All right, Tolgar. Right. The other three gentlemen that are here in this mix, they've already thrown their hands up and are protesting their innocence and saying that they are not with that man. They had nothing to do with that man. He snuck aboard their car and threatened to murder him if they didn't hide him, and this, that, and the other.
I'm gonna look through the hole I created in this cart to see what's in there.
All right. Surprisingly enough, pretty much what they said. You can see a couple of a kind of a crate with a huge crack in it, which you guess was where your massive fist hit. Some bed rolls, some blankets laying on the ground. Generally speaking, it does look exactly like what they said. This is probably their cart that they have all their mess in, their food, provisions, horse grain, and the other cart is just loading down with merchandise.
I'm gonna say this cart will work, and I'm just gonna start preparing the cart.
Okay, well, this cart here, I mean, the only damage to this cart is the canvas that you ripped yourself.
Yeah,
so
put my stuff in it. I'm gonna go pet this horse, get it ready for me to hop on.
All right, okay. The guy's next. Okay, he comes into view of Thelonious. You had a held action, so by all means, you can cast your spell.
Yep. So here is the info for that.
All right, target creature, range 60 feet. He is within range. One object of your choice you can see within range raises vertically up to 20 feet. And suspends there for the duration. Spell can levitate a target that weighs up to 500 pounds. He is not that heavy.
I figured.
He probably looks like maybe 150, if that. The target can move only by pushing, pulling against a fixed object, which he will have none of in range.
Yep.
All right.
Constitution saving throw versus an unwilling creature. I love it.
And that's basically it. So he gets to make a con check. Your DC is for Thronius is a 14.
Yeah.
All right.
I want to see him float.
I want to see him float.
She sounds like that little kid out of Game of Thrones up in the Eagle's Weir. Make the man fly! Make the man fly! Okay. And you do indeed see him float as he suddenly, what the hell is going on? Stop it! Let me go! Let me go! Well played, sir. Well played. The guy in the plate mail is moving over in that direction. Emlyn.
With all this commotion, I'm going to use my movement action to go to this horse.
Okay.
And I'm going to cast Vampiric Touch.
What?
No, I rolled a 1.
No,
but it's not
you don't have to roll to hit it. It's not trying to not be hit. Your Vampiric Touch will work. Jeep, thanks for subscribing, my friend. Much
I have
love.
my hands on the horse, and I cast a spell, and my hand goes in the horse, and I start sucking energy out
everybody
to get a little health
up,
back.
Hit the hype. Thanks for the sub, Jeep. Much appreciated, buddy.
So I get 9 health back, basically.
Yeah, you basically life leech from the horse. And you know what? Nobody's really paying any attention to you, so I doubt anybody will see what you're doing. And this is why they're evil bastards. It's not because they just run around doing heinous things. It's just they do opportune things and don't give a shit. Okay. Well, that's what you're doing.
Does
Kyla.
the horse die or react? Because it's 17 damage, so...
No, it's still alive. Does it react? Yeah, it... Suddenly, I mean, you just basically...
It throws up carrots.
So,
Oh.
all right.
Throw them up.
Okay, the horse suddenly starts kicking and screaming and bucking and starts lashing out with his back feet. Yeah, it doesn't look safe to be around this at this very moment, Emlyn.
All right,
But it's losing its mind.
Okay.
As it's kicking backwards, as you can hear it, as it's smashing into the backplate of the wagon.
Whoa,
Okay.
Nessie. Whoa, Nessie. Whoa, calm down.
Upon hearing this gentleman, what the bloody hell's going on? And he starts running over in that direction. But of course, it doesn't leave any visible wounds or anything. The horse just, as far as he can tell, the horse just looks a little malnourished and is losing its mind.
Yeah, I have my shadow wreathed hand behind my back as he approaches. Like, I don't know, he just started freaking out. He's trying to keep them all calm without commotion.
I'm not surprised with all this screaming and men flying around. Calm down, calm down. Okay, so he's trying to do work on the horse to calm it down. Okay, the guards are... So, how high did you levitate this gentleman?
Like 10 feet off the ground, or not even that. Just maybe. How tall is he? 5 feet?
About
at the
probably
most.
about 5'7",
So like
5'8".
yeah, just high enough to where he's just barely off the ground, just kind of like.
So they can reach him.
Yes.
Okay, you see him. He's got his dagger poised as they all begin to kind of like gather round him. Those that have bows are basically taking choice opportunistic places and positions to be able to get a clear line of sight at the gentleman. And with that, the big fellow in the plate mail says, "I told you you'd never make it far. Sergeant Randall, you may make your arrest now." Okay, with that, the gentleman with the red crest grabs hold of him and starts to try to pull him.
I would let the spell go so he could just kind of.
Okay. As soon as he hits the ground, the other guards are upon him, and the guy in the plate mail levels a huge, big two-handed sword at his shoulder to basically let him know, you know what, if you try to run, this is going to be a really, really bad idea. Within no time, he is surrounded by guards. Okay. as that's happening, you can hear him like, "Unhand me! Let me go!" And they're just grabbing him and manhandling him and tying rope to him and stuff like that. Okay, with that, they begin to drag him back towards their cart.
At which point, seeing the arrest, I would be working my way towards not their cart.
Okay.
Well.
All right, so that's what Kyla's doing. All right, Lilith. Any action from Lilith, or is she still...
Probably not.
All right, Thelonious. Man of the hour.
Just kind of watching this play out.
All right, Tolgar.
Well, that's when I kind of jump on this horse.
Climb on the horse?
Yeah.
Okay, at which point these two gentlemen are like, "Get off our horse! Guards, look, they're trying to take our horse!"
This is our cart and our horse. You stopped us on this road.
I beg to differ.
Friends, come back to the cart. Look at all of you guys.
Okay, with that, you notice the sergeant is kind of turned around, is looking in your direction, as is the head of the man in plate. The other guards are manhandling this fellow back in that direction. At which point, you notice that the sergeant kind of indicates to those with a bow, "Yeah, not you guys. You don't need to take him. You stay here."
Oof.
All right, now you've noticed that the arrows are all kind of changed directions and that they're spread between Tolgar on the horse and those that are accusing Tolgar of taking the horse.
Oh.
All right, the big fellow in plate mail kind of comes walking over to here. This chap moves around as well. All right, so yeah, after Tolgar's bursting that out, the guy's not doing anything. Emlyn, do you wish to do anything?
I want to vampire touch the horse again, but I'm not going to. I don't. Now the guy is here with me.
He's not looking at you. He's kind of taken a couple of steps and is more now paying attention to what's going on over there. I mean, you could, in theory, do it again. Very good chance that it'll end the horse, but that's your choice.
No, yeah, I'm gonna relinquish the spell cast so my hand's back to normal, and I'm just gonna look to Tolgar.
Okay.
kind of be like, oh no.
All right. Okay, the big dude in plate kind of comes and stands next to Tolgar. If he was not wearing plate, he's probably about 6'2". In his full plate, he looks like he's about 6'5". With the extra height of the metal and stuff. So he's a fairly big chap as well. He looks up at Tolgar and he says, "Are you sure that this is your horse? Would you like to reiterate that statement? Or would you like to say that you made a very silly mistake and that you're going to climb down and go back to the horse and cart that probably does belong to you?"
Oh, shoot.
Well, I'm talking to you.
I'm gonna look down at him while I'm sitting on the horse and say, "Well,
is he gonna double? Is Tolgar gonna double down, or is he?"
I would like this cart.
You would like the cart, but it isn't actually your cart currently. Is that what you're saying?
Seems to belong to the one that just got arrested.
No,
that's that wasn't his car. He was hiding in the back. He had us all at knife point. This is our car. We're merchants.
Can I step in?
Yeah, of course
Yeah.
you don't have to ask permission. Just do it.
And I'll very gingerly and elderly walk up with my staff.
So you're playing up the old man card.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay,
No.
all right.
You'll have to excuse my friend here. He told God you got on the wrong cart. It's the one over there.
And I'm going to look at the guy who said we could take that cart if we helped him and say,
Didn't you mention before that we could have that cart if we helped you out? I believe we saved all of your lives.
Well, no. What I meant was, if you helped us get away, like leave At which point you notice that the knight, his head turns and looks at him.
I thought you said that you weren't involved. Why would you have needed to flee?
Oh, well, no, what I meant was, he had my wife, see? He had my wife with a knife at her back, and he was saying that if we didn't hurry up and get a move on, he'd kill her. So to save her life, we were willing to leave and leave all of that behind. But now, of course, now you fine noble gentlemen have shown up and apprehended the scallywag. Of course, there's no reason for us to relinquish an entire cart full of, belongings. Why would we do such a thing? I did indeed offer to pay 7 gold, though, if they helped me fix the car. I'd still happily be willing to do that.
Yes, I believe he was trying to bribe us to help him get away with the man you accosted just a moment ago.
All right.
You heard it from him. It's what he just said.
All right.
And then he said he wanted to give us this cart, and I would like it.
Give me a persuasion. Oh, you're going to add that to it?
That's why I thought this horse was my horse.
Give me a persuasion. Persuasion check, Thelonious.
Okay.
All right. Okay. He says.
Well, I did hear what he said, but to be honest, I very much doubt that these simple folk were necessarily running from the town guard. I think it's probably true that they were being forced into it. Wouldn't you say, gentlemen?
Absolutely. Quite right. That's right. That's what happened.
Excuse me, sir. I'm going to approach. Kind of like both my hands very obviously non-threatening. Don't you find it weird that a single man with a knife in one carriage managed to hijack 2? I mean, threat of life alone, I don't think they would have leverage over this one man, no? Unless they were complicit. It doesn't seem right.
Doesn't at all.
It is true, when we approached on our glamorous ride,
well,
they were quick to want to run away from you.
Well, if there's any truth to what they say, that this man was threatening his good lady's life, these are simple folk, not brave heroes or those that have much muster. And if you was to understand the nature of the man that we have been pursuing for, well, close to 4 weeks myself, you might understand just how terrifying and dangerous he can be.
At which point he takes a good look to make sure that they have gotten this guy onto the cart. So at which point you notice that they've like tied him up with rope around his wrists, around his feet, trussed him up like a chicken. They've gagged him. I mean, they're taking obviously no chances with this dude. He is wrapped up in all manner of strange bondage. He says,
"Look, quite honestly, I don't really care what happens here. This is a matter for Sergeant Randall to take care of. After all, I'm no one for taking care of the law around here, as it would say. More for righting wrongs and apprehending those that need apprehending. So I will leave this up to Randall."
And with that, he starts to just walk towards the cart that they came in on. Right, with that, the fellow that's kind of up until now pretty much letting the other dude take the lead. Right. Now let's get this right. You lot, let's get everybody that's together to move together if we can. You big fella, for the time being, down off the horse if you don't mind. Y'all go and stand in one group, over there to the left, near that smaller cart.
All right.
I'll slowly shift my old bones backwards.
I'll put an arm underneath you to pretend to hold you up.
Yes, thank you.
Lilith will do the same on the other side.
Thank you both, bless you.
Okay. This one rushes back over here. He says, right, the rest of you, You all gather up here in the road.
Wait, where's Kyla?
Who knows?
No.
I don't know where Kyla is.
She's completely bad.
No, I do know where Kyla is,
know
but
where
none
she
of you
is,
would have
but none of
noticed,
we
so
do.
you don't know where Kyla is.
Interesting.
Needless to say that where the little crow was in the tree before, there is now a different little crow in that same tree.
And what about the bloody guy? Is he still alive?
Oh no,
or-
he's dead. He's laying over dead in the ground over here below the tree.
Awkward.
All right. Okay, so he stands in the middle and says, "Why don't you start from the beginning?" So, and let's roll a D3 here, D6. 1, 2, or 3, he's going to start with you. 4, 5, or 6, he will start with the peasants. 3. So he looks to the left and says, "One of you explain to me exactly what happened here."
Okay, my party and I are traveling from Bamforth, heading to Horndon on the Mere. We're day out, as you know.
Based on the fact that the cart there that you're all standing next to is pointing towards Horndon, am I to take it that that's the cart you came on?
That is correct, yes.
He's smart.
So we've established that this is your cart. Now, okay.
Yes, the only thing we could afford out of Bamforth for the old man here that, I then, emphasize hoisting on my side.
Yes, oh,
Okay.
poor me.
He's dying.
We arrived here to find these two carriages in mortal terror. I mean, whatever with the wheel, you see. And long story short, they were very quick to want it repaired. They were yelling at each other about who was to blame for driving the carriage off the road. And, well, Lilith over here and myself noticed that the lady in the middle looked rather terrified and sheepish. They turned and looked over their shoulder, saw you coming, and immediately were like, "Forget that cart that's broken. It's ours. We got to get out of here as soon as possible." Then the culprit guy you were pursuing and arrested stuck his arm through the front, I guess, of the carriage and threatened to kill the old lady and basically asked us to help him escape, which obviously you have seen that we did not do. The people in the middle of the road continued to say, "Forget the broken down carriage, forget it, that is yours." Tolgar, as you know, I'm sorry, I apologize for my big friend, but he's dyslexic. So he thought it was the other carriage and got confused. We don't use them for his brains. We use them for protection for this old man who's Thelonious, a very respected, scholarly man.
Thank you.
And then we helped you guys apprehend with Thelonious's help, of course. And this whole kerfluffle happened.
Fair enough. What's your side of the story? Well, I mean, a lot of what they said is true. I mean, as they said, you heard him. That murderous scallywag. He had my wife at knife point. That's the only reason we was going to run, because he said if we didn't hurry up and load on the cart and get shot, that he'd kill her. I mean, what was we supposed to do? He says, and in regards to the cart, they did show up, and we offered them 7 gold if they would help us fix the one with the broken wheel, but then they weren't interested in that. And everyone was negotiating, and then there was this young girl, and one of our friends that was with us, he was up in the tree over there, he was hiding, and she shot him out the bloody tree. And he fell from the tree, I'm thinking. It looks like he fell and broke his bloody neck. Last I saw, he was laying over there on the ground. He goes, This true? This young girl, this one here, dressed in black, is it? No, it was a different one. A younger one.
Yes, Lilith here saved the lady who was being held hostage in the cart. Doing what, of course, you simple men were
That's
clearly
right, she
unable to do.
did. She wrestled him and took the knife from him, and then she, well, rather forcefully pushed me off the cart, but it bruised my behind. But that was a bit, but much better than being murdered. That's for sure. So, these 2 carts then belong to you. This 1 cart belongs to you, but you are an acknowledgement that they did help the situation here, and I may add, did assist the good god of Horndon capture a hardened, known, and very dangerous criminal, which I'm very much obliged for your intervention for. As for your friend, well, where's this young girl?
Honestly, we don't know. But she is our friend and our guide, and we had just navigated these hills where we were afraid of an ambush, and you can quite clearly see that this looks very much like an ambush lying in wait. 2 carts on both sides of the road, strangers in need of help. We've all seen that ruse before.
Right, with that, he kind of looks and says, "If you're hiding around here, girlie, come on out. No one's going to hurt you."
Right. And then I'm going to go ahead and go down the trees, and I'm actually going to take my hair down and kind of let it kind of settle over my face a little bit to try and hide my identity just a little bit as I approach. Because I don't like guards. I don't know if my name got out here. Probably not, but...
No one said your name.
Exactly.
Alright. And he's... Ah! That would be her, I suppose, would it? Oi, that's her! That's her! Yeah, she done shot my friend!
He was hiding in a tree, and I was outpowered, 3 men to 1 gal. I wasn't ready to fight that.
Does seem a bit suspicious why he would be hiding in the tree. And I, being a hardened traveller of the road, I can understand why these good citizens may have assumed that this was some kind of ambush.
May I ask a question?
Of course you can.
If this whole group of people, sans the one you arrested, were being held prisoner, why would he let someone go off into a tree to be scouts? That just seems like you're giving too much agency to your captives.
It was his idea. He said. He knew that they were after him, and he said, you best get someone up in that tree, and if you see him coming, we need to just leave the wagon and run for it. It was his idea the entire time. He said to put him up there. Well, seems to me, under the circumstances, your unfortunate friend that was hiding in the tree sounds a bit like death by misadventure to me. After all, I mean, look at her. A mere waif of a girl. I can understand why she'd have been scared. Did he act in any threatening way to you, miss? Looked like he might possibly mean you some harm?
I went up to approach the cart, as it were, and the wheel was off, and he was showing me that they had a lot in the back that they needed help moving. I was wondering if maybe there was room in the other cart for the goods, and when I went around to go see it, he blocked off the cart completely, which put me on suspicion. I don't know if there's other people in the cart waiting to jump out. So I took a quick glance around, and the first thing I saw was this man in the tree, and that clued me in that something might be up.
Sounds very feasible to me. So yeah. I wouldn't worry about that. I reckon that you should all help your friend up onto one of these carts and bury him at the next opportunity. Bamforth, you said you were going to. Wait, that's right. Well, now then. You said that you would pay these fine fellows 7 gold crowns to fix the wagon. We did, and we still will. He says, do you possibly think you might want to sweeten that deal, seeing as they rescued you from a known murderer and helped us apprehend? I myself, of course, can speak for the fact that back in Horndon on the Mere, I, this very morning, put a sign up that said that this individual was a wanted man and was worth 100 gold crowns if captured alive. So, I dare say that as long as the gentleman that walks around like a tin can doesn't have an objection to it, that reward should belong to you fellows if you're coming back to Horndon. I could arrange for it to be paid to you. But what about you fellows? Are you willing to do anything?
Well, if they'll agree to help us fix the cart,
Right.
and as they did save his good lady wife, I suppose we could give him another 10 gold.
I give Tolgar this look like, stop
So
it.
Tolgar's shaking his head. He says, that big fella there seems to think that that's not an agreeable amount. So he turns and looks at Tolgar and he says, 10 gold for there's a start and another 10 gold as well.
No, I want the wagon.
You can't
It
have
is
the
the price
wagon.
for the girl.
You can't have the wagon. The wagon's
say
not an
it's worth
option.
about
That's
the
our
amount you-
livelihood.
You have 2 wagons.
This is one of which is completely full of merchandise that already we're barely going to make any profit from, as we've got to give you most of it before we've even sold it, and the other one we need for all of us to ride on and sleep in. Can't expect us all to sleep out under the stars. This is everything we own. We have to split this.
You can take our cart.
You can all fit in that one, and we can all fit in this one.
You notice that the captain of the guard, or the Sergeant Randall, is just grinning and watching the exchange.
It is a fair trade. Keep the horse too.
It ain't a fair trade. That's a wagon.
No,
a
that's
fully
actually
functional wagon, and that's a prime horse and all. That wagon and horse must be worth at least 3 or 4 times what
So
yours
you
is.
don't think your lady wife is worth this one wagon?
I never said that.
That's what you said.
I have an idea. You give us the 20 gold. We take that horse that Tolgar was sitting on. You take our horse and return to Bamforth. It's a good horse. We got it out of Corthan. You'll have no trouble in Bamforth.
So we trade horses, but we keep the cart.
Exactly. And you give us gold, we'll fix your wagon.
And I give you 20 gold, and we trade horses.
Yes.
Well,
The horse's name is Bess. He's a good horse.
let me have a look at her then.
Out of Corthan.
We know a fantastic place you could get her fed, of course.
All right. This fellow comes up and starts to look underneath the horse and goes up and lifts its gums, looks at its teeth, lifts its tail, starts to kind of go all the way around it, checks its hooves.
A lot of care put into that horse there.
What was that?
A lot of care put into that horse.
A lot of love.
He says, well, from what I can tell, this is a fine horse. Seems like a fair trade to me.
Well, in that case then, I think we have an accord. We trade horses, not carts, and you fix the wagon north of the road, and we give you 20 gold, and then we all go on our separate ways.
Randall looks and says, does that seem all right to you?
I'm gonna look at Tolgar just to make sure that he's not doing anything stupid.
I'm nodding.
That's what you value your wife at, then that's what we can get.
Does that sounds like a yes? Right, well, we'll just stick around here and make sure that this is all handled amicably. And then we'll be on our way as well. So, go ahead, unbuckle your horses and swap them over. There's a good chap. Alright, so he begins to unhook his horse.
And then I murder everybody.
Okay. Roll initiative.
No,
Okay.
As that's happening, I'm gonna help Thelonious back to the back of their cart.
Thank you.
And I'm going to say, can you send a message to Patches O'Houlihan over there? Tell him that the horse is returning, but the people who are in charge are a little dumb.
How do you expect me to do that?
Oh, I don't know. Just a thought to stir the pot, but if not, that's fine.
No. I think.
Oh, are you being sorry?
No. It would all work itself out in the end. I'm sure.
That's true.
All right. Okay. Who's gonna unbuckle your cart, or are you not?
I'll probably start doing that once that's all over.
All right. Okay.
Just as it gives me something to do to not have my face really in the crowd of things. Don't wanna be noticed. Generally.
Not generally, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Are these women's hips wide?
This woman, the one woman that's with him.
Yeah.
That's a requirement.
Fairly. I mean, she's
Fairly not good enough.
she's like a middle-aged, fairly plain woman with like brown hair. Not, you know.
Okay.
She's no great beauty, but at the same time, she's certainly has not been hit with a frying pan in the face or anything like that. So she looks reasonable. She's a little pudgy, but yeah, I mean, she definitely has hips that look like they could very well bear children.
But she's middle-aged.
Uh-huh.
So I just go,
All right.
That's fine.
So once you've got the horses swapped over, he's like, and our wagon, you take care of that as well? And then we'll give you the 20 gold.
Okay, I'm gonna walk over there.
I'm gonna go over there and just be like, now don't break it.
I won't.
Right, so they basically come and we've already established that you can lift a wagon, but even if you can't, there's several other people that will help lift it. And then this guy will put the wheel back on and hammer it in place and reassert the peg. So, unless you're planning on any skullduggery, that'll be an easy done and achieved thing.
Nope,
Let's let the air out of the tire.
Yeah.
Stick
right.
a nail in that. What? Alright.
Ripley Miller, thank you for hitting the sub button. New subscriber hype. Everybody show your love and appreciation. Take your pants off and hit your hype.
Take your pants off.
There you go.
Thanks,
You don't
Ripley.
need them.
Yeah, enough for this show.
You do not need them.
No.
All right, and with that, then all of the guards begin to make their way back to the cart, and load up. Leaving any guards behind? Nope, we got them all. All right. After that, Sergeant Randall approaches you and says, "Well, we're heading back to Horndon on the Mere. By all means, follow us if you wish. Safety in numbers, not that I think either group here needs to worry too much about this general travel on this road. But when you do get there, be sure to come by the militia house. Ask for me, Sergeant Randall, and I'll ensure that you're... well, I'll discuss it with the tin can over here, but assuming he's... At worst, we'll be splitting it. So at the very least, you'll have 50 to come. At the very least.
Thank you.
Not at all. Right then. We'll just... and he kind of looks at all of you up and down. We'll just stick around for a little while and make sure that these good folk manage to get up the road and that their cart holds out. Alright, so they all begin to clamber aboard their various carts and wagons. Oh, bugger me! We almost forgot Ted. And they all kind of clamber down and get the other guy's corpse.
Poor Ted.
And leave him on the back.
No justice for Ted.
All right, they're all ready to roll.
He doesn't need it. He's...
Okay.
This is for the living.
And they all begin to make their way around you and slowly head up the road towards Horndon. They're heading towards Bamforth.
Wait, does this mean we have both a Rip Bill and a Rip Ted? We've killed both Bill and Ted?
Hey, they deserved it. I'm sure.
Bogus adventure time.
Oh, I'll listen to all of you as well.
The bogus misadventures of Bill and Ted.
Okay. Well, once they're on their way, the loaded wagon full of local militia and guards, and a large individual in plate, and one seemingly unpleasant person begins to make its way southwest down the road in the same direction that you guys are traveling. All right, what do you guys want to do?
Follow, I guess, right?
Yeah?
Yeah. Much.
All right, no problem then.
So you killed a man who was innocent. We traded horses and got paid. And pretty good little operation we had going on there.
There you go. All right, well, that seems like a really good stopping point for a quick break. So we're going to go ahead and take a short break, but we will be right back. We won't be leaving you by yourselves. We'll be leaving you in the capable hands of half the squad both times. So me, Thelonious, and Tulgar will take a short break, and then when we return, we'll swap out. All right, let me pull the dice roll back. Okie dokie. Well, you travel... So are you trying to keep up with the guards, or are you trying to deliberately keep a distance from the guards, or what's the deal?
Distance, I would assume.
Yeah, I would.
Okay. So you're going to kind of let them get far enough ahead that...
Yeah.
All right. Well, another... you basically travel on the rest of the day. You notice once it begins to get dark that the guards have actually pulled off of the road and are setting up a camp way ahead. Towards this latter half of the day, Thelonious, you've really begun to feel like crap, I'm afraid. Your sweats have given way to breaking out in, like, cold shivers, followed by hot flushes. And you've kind of noticed that he's going kind of a little pale in the face and just doesn't look well.
Knew this would happen.
Poor old boy.
Poor
old fella.
This man has been dying slowly since the moment I've met him.
Alright, so, he's just not really feeling that good at all. Yeah.
Would I be aware? Because sometimes when you get progressively worse, you're not really like aware of something that's happening.
You haven't really been for most of the day, but
A
by
boiling
now,
lobster, huh?
by now you are starting to feel decidedly under the weather. You feel weaker than normal. I throw that in there. He's definitely, as I said, you can tell that he's sweating, he's shivering. He keeps like trying to nod off, but keeps generally just shaking himself awake. And of course, with the very unpleasant ride that there is on this cart, that's not helping matters. As I'd mentioned, the guards up ahead have pulled off the road and have started to make camp.
We would probably stop ourselves from a distance behind.
Okay.
And set up our own little camp.
All right.
Agreeable.
And then I'd look at Thelonious and be like, what is wrong with you?
Well, is anybody else hot? Unbearably hot?
Well, Lilith.
She's hot.
Yes, nobly under the normal circumstances, I might find that very amusing, but it's just... no one feels ill, odd, something maybe we ate, or just uncomfortable of any kind.
Well, you did
Sit
eat
by a
that.
fire.
You did eat that brown stuff earlier in the cave. Maybe that has something to do with it.
No, that was a few days ago. I don't think that.
Well, does it take a while? Are we up on our medicine skills that like you get infected?
No, I take very much pride in my digestive system. I'm quite regular for my age, thank you.
Kyla, is there any herbs or stuff around here that could ease his bowels?
Let me go ask the local witch doctor.
Yeah. Did you see a hut back there that I missed, or?
Yeah, it is pretty
What
plain.
about the guards? They already
we
think
just-
he's an old wobbly man. We could bring him in.
I mean, we could just put him out.
That's not a bad idea either.
Put him out. We're talking
Yes, what do you-
euthanasia now. What do you? You want to put him down?
Death with dignity.
I mean, he's probably not going to live that much longer anyway, and we know what what your
no,
card
just
reading
knock
said.
you out for the rest
Wait,
of the ride.
let's get him to the tower first.
So Tolgar's going to carry a sickly old man who's at the end of his life the whole way to the tower.
Or just to these guards. I bet they can help.
Put
The
him out
one
of
in
his
the
misery.
tin can.
Well, let's start a fire and lay him down next to it. And if he catches fire, well, that's a problem solved.
He said he was hot. Is there a cold
So
fire?
we'll put him further away from the fire.
Okay, so you guys want to?
We'll put him away like he's contagious.
But I guess I'll check him for a fever or something, because I don't know.
All right, give me if you want to check him for a fever, give me a medicine check.
Okay. Knowing Gore, he's probably just sick.
All right, no, he's definitely hot to the touch. I mean, it's not, you're not the most knowledgeable, but he's definitely running a high-grade fever for sure. Probably got what Casey's got.
What's the nearest
Whatever
cold
Spook has, he's got that.
It's a spell plague. He's gonna die.
Yeah.
I mean, there is something I could do, Thelonious. You might not like it, though.
What? What is it? Anything to just give me some...
It's a very low-level spell, which I'm sure you're familiar with. Ghostly hand, chill of the grave. I could touch you with it and instill freezing cold onto you.
Well, effectively, Felonius, you are suffering under the exhaustion effect, which means disadvantage on all your ability checks, half your movement. You would have disadvantage on attack rolls and saving throws. Your current hit points are down about 50% of what they are.
Ooh.
So bring that down. That's kind of, as things begin to kind of get worse, that's what you're heading for. Right now, you will have disadvantage on ability checks and your speeds will be halved. Because you've got about 2 levels of exhaustion right now. You die at 6.
So I don't have 50% hit.
No, but that's where you're heading. You're
Gotcha.
feeling like you're just losing your strength.
Okay.
I mean, it'll hurt you too, but it'll freeze you a little.
What would that would help me?
Well, it'll counteract the heat that's on your head.
Well, also, don't forget, he's complaining of hot flashes as well. It alternates.
Yes, I don't believe that's how that works. I'm no doctor, but that's
Well,
not...
that's the problem. Neither are we.
Gore,
Let me check.
I wasn't bit by that snake, right, from the book?
Nope.
Okay. I just want to make sure I didn't...
Huh.
So, if he gets worse through the night, this could get really bad.
Can I put a hand on him and deduce from my really great skill set?
Deduce what?
What his problem is with my medicine check?
Sure.
Yeah. Barbarian medicine check. Why is it equal?
You've deduced about the same thing that Kyla has. He is definitely running a fever. What a wimp.
just because it's probably something I would do, I'm gonna cast Detect Magic on myself to make sure that nothing externally is making me feel this terrible.
All right.
I'll pop that up.
Casting Detect Magic.
No,
magic
you are not. You do not detect any foreign or strange magics in your system.
Okay.
If this is actually just a bacterial infection from eating poop.
I didn't eat it. I just really.
You totally did.
I tested it.
You know, part of it went down. You swallowed, died after. I'm sure. Come on. That was a few days ago. You could just be having like a fecal infection.
Fecal infection. My favorite.
Wow. Tell you what, I'm going to go ask the guard what kind of help we might be able to seek at our destination here, okay?
Yes, please. Anything.
He's become infected with coprophagia.
So I'm assuming it's gotten kind of dark.
It has, yeah. It's nighttime.
Okay, then I'm good to go over.
All right.
I'm gonna start casting a ritual in front of Thelonious. Oh, yes, so is, boy.
Are you gonna freeze him to death?
No.
Yeah. So I'm getting up to the cart there. I don't have like any weapons drawn or anything, despite my token.
Okay.
Now I'm looking to peg him in the back of the head. No. I'm just gonna be like, excuse me.
All right, they kind of all look around, and I haven't moved them, but they're all like sitting around their campfire mostly at this point.
Yeah. Just the one nearest this.
It seems that the old man might have overexerted himself. He's not in the best of ways. I was wondering if you knew anywhere in town where we're headed that might be able to help him out.
Well, there's one place you might take him.
It should be.
The local church.
Hello, sir.
The Church of Righteous Brew.
Righteous Brew?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
When you get there, you can see either Father Swain or Father Oswald. Or, if you're lucky enough and she happens to be available, the priestess. I'm sure that they might be able to take a look at your friend.
All right. Thank you.
I'm just gonna make that as short as I can to get out of there.
Okay. Alrighty.
So about that time, I finished my ritual.
All right. Following. Yeah. What's your ritual?
Unseen servants.
Okay.
And I'm gonna have it massage Thelonious to sleep, basically. Give, a little head pressure, little acupuncture, just basically, and I'm going to say to Thelonious, don't be alarmed, it's an invisible friend. And I'm going to send it over, and it's just going to start massaging your shoulders and pressure.
Okay.
Yeah, if I'm that bad off, I don't think it would care.
just
let it take me.
What arm can it do?
And then it just...
Oh, stop trying to kill me all the time.
And once he's asleep, it wrings his neck. Yep. All right. Okay. Well, you have a pretty rough night. All right. Give me a second Constitution check, sir. Thelonious.
Oh, Thelonious.
So this would be a Fortitude save, basically. Ooh, that's a little better. Okay. All right, yeah, you have serious sweats throughout the night. He is shaking, moaning. He's definitely not a well man.
Can you roleplay that?
You want me to roleplay that?
Roleplay shaking, having sweats, and moaning.
All right.
Get
I
this
guess
man a blanket.
here's my blanket, I guess.
Oh dear, no. Oh,
There's water. Oh, I'm so sweaty. Oh, the sweat is pouring out of my pores. I can't stop it. Oh, dear me. Oh, I pulled the loneliest couch. What will become of me? Oh, dear.
Can I just coup de grace this thing?
Yeah,
Do you want to? I mean,
Yeah, I'll roll that.
you don't need to roll it. I mean, I don't think he's going to stop you.
If no one else is gonna.
Put me down.
It's a humane thing to do. All right, okay. So he has a really rough night. However, in the morning, after heaving a lot and looking incredibly pale, it does. You do start to begin to feel a little bit better as your fever is finally starting to break. Fortunately for you, you passed that second save.
Jeez.
All right.
What was it, Gore?
You don't know, do you?
This fecal sickness. I'm telling you.
Shaggett's convinced it was because that brown stuff that he went, "What's this?"
He totally swallowed.
He thinks it was minor shit. He believes that brown stuff was they all just went there to poop. That's his theory, and he's sticking to it. Alrighty, but needless to say, as I said, you do feel a little bit better in the morning. The guards have gotten up and moved off bright and early in the morning, probably before you guys did.
Yeah, we probably wait a little bit because of Vomerson over there.
Alrighty.
The old man.
Okay. And once he has cleaned his beard, picked the chunks out.
Oh.
Excuse me, Thelonious.
You can.
Yes, what is it?
Do you plan on being like this often?
No, I do not plan on being like this often.
But do you get like this often?
No, I just had a rumbly in my tummy. That is all. Like anybody gets sick from time to time.
This happens too much. You'll just weigh us down. Just keep that in mind. If it happens again, hide it. Better.
Oh, yes, of course. Anything you say.
Hide it better.
Put on your attic. Get some wider hips.
Excuse me. I just need to.
All right, let's get going.
Okay, so do you guys, you all load up onto the cart and continue on. All right, well, by late afternoon the following day, you have arrived at a town that lays ahead of you. As you approach down into the town from the northeastern top area, so here you guys are coming into town. This is the town of Horndon on the Mere. Laying out in front of Horndon, you can see beyond the open expanse that is the large town itself. It is at least 5 or 6 times the size of Bamforth. It's no city of Corthan, but as towns go, it's pretty big. It's very well structured and laid out. It has the road by now has turned to actual gravel dirt or broken rock. So you're no longer just going along old cart roads. It's actually for about the last mile as you've come into town, it has given way to proper roads. All right, as you begin to approach the town, on the open expanse to the left, you can see plowed fields aplenty. You can see far off in the distance what looks like a large farmstead with an apple orchard behind it. By the time you get to the town proper, you can see a street that runs to your left that is just lined with houses upon houses upon houses. The houses here are all pretty much made of wood, but very sturdy and well made. They have thatched roofs. But again, this town is clearly way more prosperous than Bamforth. As you continue down the street, to the right of you on a grassy open area, you can see what appears to be a small market. Several stalls are set up, and people busily rush between them and perusing the various different marketers' wares. By the time you get further down here, at the next junction, a large stone building can be seen directly in front of you. You can hear the clanging of metal and the clashing of swords ringing from somewhere behind the building. You guys also notice that most of the buildings here are to your left are considerably larger, and they don't really look so much as dwellings, more as various different establishments of business. You want to turn down this street, or do you want to keep on going southwards?
As we go, I'm going to say, Thelonious, are you still in need to be looked over? I mean,
No. I appreciate the massage you or someone I couldn't see gave me. I'm feeling much better this morning, thank you.
Because, well, we could go there if you really need to.
No. This old man doesn't need that much care. It was just a fleeting thing. Doesn't need your worry about it.
And in the spell.
Is this to scale? Just a question.
It depends on what you mean to scale.
Like, can I see the cemetery?
Let's see. It's approximately to scale. I mean,
okay.
Let me double check to see how much each block is.
Would you like to go pick out your tombstone?
That's kind of what Emlyn is thinking if you can see the cemetery.
Yeah, hold on a sec. Let me scroll this into position. They changed the ruler up on this thing, so...
Yeah, I don't know where the ruler is.
Yeah, it's still...
There's different options. There's the snap to center, snap to corner,
yeah.
and then no snapping. I suggest no snapping.
Yeah, you want it no snapping.
But
okay.
You don't have to hold Alt anymore.
But now, by default, no, don't hold Alt anymore, because by default, Alt...
Oh, yeah, okay. Cool.
So many arrows.
Yeah.
Look at him go.
Just about 30 feet or so.
Laser light show.
Yeah, I mean, it's not exactly to scale, but, you know.
Okay, because I'm going to look down and say, because there's this clear cemetery straight down, you want to find your plots.
And you can definitely see an old, large church rising, like there's a tower that rises above the tree line there as well.
I mean, all joking aside, that is where the priests would be.
Yes, I understand you all like to poke fun at me because of my age, but don't any of you all realize, I'm going to point over to Emlyn, he was the one who was about to die before me. He was on death's door before we came and saved him. Why are we not making jokes at his expense about life and death?
It'd be too
easy. Eventually we should apologize.
Apologies all around, right? To everybody.
No, that was not an apology. I'm just saying. I suppose at some point.
So not now, Tolgar.
I'm not looking for your apologies, nor do I want one. And I would never accept.
I'm only being nice to you for a reason. Well, I'm actually only making fun of you for a reason. But it's a good reason you'll see in time. Just so long as you're not dying. You'll be pleasantly surprised.
No,
so just accept my ribbing in stride, and we'll be happy in the future.
Fine. I will accept your ribbing in stride.
We could rib at the girl instead, and I look at Kyla.
Go ahead.
It's not as fun.
Well, we have a murderer in our midst. Like, straight up murder.
Yes, welcome.
Yes, you did murder that poor man in that tree.
Welcome to murder.
Fucking Tolgar, man.
Welcome
to 5.
I'm going to take a look around and see who's looking at what's being said, because they're all talking very openly about murder.
Quite honestly, nobody. I mean, everybody, the town is very full of people walking around backwards and forwards, in and out of stores and buildings. Rife the marketplace is to your left, right. is full of dozens and dozens of people. But everybody seems very much to be paying themselves more heed than you guys. The fact that you guys are all on a cart, in a way, makes you look less conspicuous. Periodically, you do get a few people kind of look double when they see Tolgar riding the horse, but that's not uncommon. I mean, when you see a man that big, you know, people tend to take a second glance. But nobody is like, oh, did you hear that? They're talking about murder.
So let's find the place to stay in this town.
So, yeah.
Get a horse.
Well, what do you think? You want to head south down this road, or do you want to take the left turn on the street?
Left. I would say left.
Okay. All right. Well, as you pass the building to your right, you can kind of see, based on the very sturdy ironclad door with the bars, the fact that it is the only stone building that you've seen, except for possibly the church all the way down the other end of town. This, if anything, looks like a militia house if you've seen it. So you can either visit this one now or make a mental note and know where it is should you wish to come and try to claim the reward for capturing that fellow from Sergeant Randall. But if not, you are welcome to continue on down the street.
I think we keep going.
Okay, all right.
Need to go right away. Yes.
Walking down the street, yeah.
All right, so as you go down the street, you pass a general store. As you pass what appears to be a brewery, you pass... there's like a... let's see, what do we got here? Yeah, like a grocery store that you you kind of go past. So all of these buildings here all do seem to be different stores or, you know, of types. As you kind of just clear the guardhouse, to your right is where you can hear all the clashing of swords. Down here behind the guardhouse seems to be what looks like a training area. It's a fenced-off area with lots of training dolls. You can see people firing arrows into large archery butts, people hacking away at straw dummies, and practicing with, you know, wooden weapons.
Okay.
So, you know.
Just keep going.
Alrighty, you arrive at a crossroads. From the crossroads here at Horndon on the Mere, kind of catty-cornered off to your left, you can see what appears to be a very quaint pond with large rocks and trees almost, you know, deliberately placed around it. It literally looks like someone landscaped the entire area, and there are kids playing there, skimming rocks, fishing in the pond, and generally playing in and around that area. To your right is a large and impressive inn. It's at least 3 stories tall. It is a huge L-shaped building, and the sign hanging from the door proudly presents it as the Pig and Whistle Ale House and Inn. Let's see, I can show you the bar sign.
Ooh.
To the Pig and Whistle.
The Pig and Whistle.
Alright, there you go. There it is. The Pig and Whistle Ale House and Inn.
I thought
and that is the sign that flaps in the wind.
Doesn't it look like it has little shades on?
That'd be so awesome.
I don't think shades were invented.
Yeah, it's not shades. I think that's
800 AD.
I think that's jowls of fat. But there you go. Alrighty.
Let's go in there. Let's stable our horrible wagon and horse, and I guess go to the right if there's a pathway down there.
Yeah, John, 97.
All right, we'll zoom in. Yeah. What did I just move? What the hell just moved there? Oh, it was you. Okay. All right, yeah. So once you get down past the inn, there's a fenced-in area to the right where you can see a large, well-established stable. There's a trough for water. There's a huge, big trough of grain that's there. There's already several horses that are feeding. And very quickly, a young lad, about 14 years old with black hair, comes running up to you and says, "Take your horse, mister."
What?
Do you want me to take your horse, mister?
No, this is mine.
No, I mean, to the stable. Do you want it fed and watered?
Yes.
All right. Where do you want to put your cart? You want to leave it out back as well?
Is that where the carts go?
Well, not normally, but if you're staying here, I suppose we need to look after your cart. There's room.
So you'll give me money and put away the carts.
Give you money?
How does this work?
Well, you'll tell the innkeeper that you're stabling a horse for the night. And customarily, a tip for the stable boy.
I'm gonna glance at my friends.
I'm just gonna be nodding. Like,
He says, a shiny copper piece for me efforts, as it were.
Yes, something shiny. Sure. Everyone off. Everyone
unload
off.
yourselves then, and make your way to the inn. You're in time for a good supper.
I'm going to
delicious.
help down Emlyn. As if he's a lady.
What? I'm gonna take it. I'm being helped off. I'm just gonna give him a look like, what are you doing?
All right.
I think that was the apology.
For wanting to. Yes, got it.
Yes.
I will accept that, Tolgar. Strange as you are.
All right. So once you're all down off the cart, the boy goes and kind of like strokes the side of the horse's mane, and then says, "Right, how long do you think you're going to be staying?"
A few days.
Fair enough then.
Thank you.
Right, at that you hear a voice say, "Don't be a skinflint. Chuck the young lad a copper." And you see another guy walk out of the stable carrying 2 buckets of something.
I'm gonna walk away, assuming somebody else is gonna do it.
All right.
I'm gonna approach him with 2 copper pieces and hand it to him.
All right, he takes it and he goes, "Peter, here!" And he flicks one of them to him, and then he pockets the other one himself.
Excuse my large friend. He's all muscle, no brain.
He says, you know how it is. Of course. Better that way. Better to make sure that nothing bad happens to your horse or whatever. You know how kids are.
I'm just gonna quirk around. Right. I'm just gonna nod and back away myself.
You notice that the 2 buckets he's carrying are full of large brown and blackish lumps.
Uh-oh.
Ithalonius.
Don't do it. No,
Would you like some? No. All right. But he kind of takes it and throws it in the corner by the fence where you notice is a pretty large manure compost pile slowly beginning to build up there.
Does it look familiar?
Oh, it does great for the farm. Because every few days the farmer comes down and gathers this and they spread it up there on the crop fields. He goes, with that and the blessings of winter, we'll have another fine crop this year, just like last year and the year before.
As we leave and go to the inn door, I'm just going to turn to Kyla and Thelonious and be like, it's something I've been thinking about. Devils and demons have mouths and can talk, so they clearly eat. So do you think they shit too? I mean, it's a mild curiosity since we fought one. And,
Do devil's shit.
Wouldn't you
It's-
know better about those sorts of things?
Counterpoint.
Not
Do you only shit half of the food you eat?
All right. We're gonna move on from this. I was just.
Everybody shits.
My favorite book.
It's the PG-13 version of that book. Alrighty. Well,
Favorite in a
with
book.
that, let's take you inside a most impressive tavern.
If Emlyn half poops, then demons don't. That's my thinking.
Okay.
Oh,
And
wrong
then why
building.
do we have to give our horse and cart to a boy when we could just leave it without paying anybody?
Because then it would die.
Or be stolen.
Nobody would steal from me.
Yeah, if they know. Alrighty.
Yeah, same thought. Same hat.
Who's that? Alright, okay. So you walk inside the Pig and Whistle. So yeah, the first thing you notice, it is considerably larger than the last tavern that you came from. There's a set of stairs over to the far right corner that lead upwards. You can also notice that sitting up on a small stage are two young ladies. One playing the flute, the other one is playing a lyre and tapping on the back of it to make drum effects. The overall atmosphere is incredibly lively. As you can tell that it is full of people of all walks of life. People of wealth, common folk, young, old. You can see a dwarf sitting over at the bar and dancing joyfully with their arms wrapped around each other with mugs of beer that are incredibly large compared to their tiny size, are two halflings that are sitting over here. Let's move the map a fraction. Yeah. These little fellows right here. There we go for chat. Okay, they're dressed in vibrant clothes, and they are just happily dancing side by side like they're doing an Irish jig with their feet, with their arms wrapped around each other, and they are totally merry, both in spirit and in the quantity of alcohol they have probably consumed.
It's Merry and Pippin.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go sit down here in the corner.
I would be joining, but I cannot move it.
Orlando.
Slowly make my way over
I can grab Polonius.
there. No, not me. Can you not click on? Oh, I can't click on you.
Yeah, I can't click on me.
You can't click on you?
Nope.
Oh, you know what that means.
It's the
Dead.
thing again.
Oh, no, I know what it is. I need to fix it on the main... on the main token.
Oh,
Why?
I'm good. Thank you.
All right. Okay. So you all make your way to the corner booth where you can carve your name and sweet nothings and all stuff like that.
We seem to have failed pretty bad last time trying to talk to people for information. Is there a new approach we should try here?
I would suggest we try not mentioning the guy's name. We just try to ask for any peculiar happenings that might sound like him.
That might be fun.
He still might be going by his fake name.
And he might have a second fake name, which we don't know about.
Why would somebody not want to use their real name? It's dishonor to their family.
I think part of where we might be gone wrong is, it didn't quite help us last time. The guys that we might be doing this out of the goodness of our hearts as some kind of ragtag team of adventurers in good spirit. I think if we use that as our as some sort of facade for our actions, they might be more willing to give us the details. After all, it's easier to con a nice person.
We already have a leg up on this town after what we've done. We could start spreading that around. Let it fester.
Right.
Not many people look at me and see a do-gooder. How can I change my image here?
Well, maybe there's like a sport nearby or something you could compete in. Just as long as you don't kill anybody.
Yeah, you could be our... We've said it before. You'd be our bodyguard. Just gotta look the parts.
Strong man.
Our guardian.
Your chief.
Well, maybe not that much. That's a little on the nose.
Okay.
But yes, Kyla, I like your thought process. We pretend to be the good guys.
I can pretend to act dumb.
Pretend.
That AC. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
It like kicked in right as you said that too. It was so good. It was
I pretend to act done, and then it's all the white noise. It's like a sound effect.
It's like in one ear out the other kind of sound. Yeah.
Okay.
We ask for rumors, right? We see if there's any strange happenings that's worth investigating as a ragtag group of do-gooders.
Maybe some of her ungodly charm to win over some extras. And, I mean, Thelonious, you certainly have a certain grandfatherly appeal.
Yes, I believe me, I use that to my advantage as much as possible.
Right. So, I guess continue to play nice until we get what we're looking for.
I mean, honestly, you three are the most do-goods in looks in the appearance department.
You are kind of covered in satanic marks up and down your body.
Well, it's a matter of pride, point of fact. But yes, it's true.
Didn't really think that one through, did you?
What do you mean?
Well, if I was, say, I don't know, a murderer, I wouldn't want that tattooed all over my body.
I see no tattoo of murder. These are decorative.
You are already born with the look. You don't have to, emphasize it.
You know, I spent much of my youth trying to de-emphasize it, but, events of the past 3 or so years have made me realize that I'm quite proud of my appearance. I say this, as I say this, I adjust my hood to keep my corns covered. So as I shift kind of uneasily on my seat.
Right. Well, you can be proud, and I'll just stay alive, okay?
Yes.
That being said, perhaps we should mix and mingle, but maybe a little lower profile this time. Unless one of these turns out to be another witch, in which case, sorry, it's a lost cause.
Which
I'm gonna kind of peruse, see maybe if any of these look like a more easy target than the others.
For what purpose?
Just I don't know, willing to spill everything they've seen in the past long time. A talker, an easy talker.
Well, it's.
I mean, there's the two drunk short fellows there.
The two halflings are clearly enjoying themselves incredibly. As they swig more and more ale, and as they notice one of the bar ladies or wenches flitting around, one of them raises a mug with a big cheesy grin on his face, and she rolls her eyes and comes swanning over to him. takes their 2 empties and hands them 2 more pints of ale, of which they both like, hey, and they clash them together and begin to drink, and then carry on dancing. And you've noticed that wherever they've danced, there's quite a spillage area. I mean, they've spilt probably as much ale as they have drank, but no one seems to care.
Oh, they're so happy.
Should I be that happy?
Well, that answers that question.
I'm just gonna sort of sit, like, lean back a little bit and kind of listen to this table behind, like, directly behind us. Like, what are they being quiet and eating, or?
Mostly, yeah. They seem to have a large, a massive roast chicken on there, a huge big platter of vegetables, bread. And they are mostly either just listening to the music as the girls are playing it and periodically ripping off some of the meat and stuffing it in their faces and swilling ale as best they can. Yeah, you've also noticed that nobody has approached your table to take an order at all. Like at Bamforth, they rushed to your side and were immediately begging for your business. Here, no one seems to have given a rat's ass. They're all, the 2 girls that seem to be doing the serving are rushing between table to table to table nonstop. Refreshing beers, laying out food platters, whatever people are asking for, they're just completely run ragged. What you have noticed is predominantly it just seems to be that they only go to tables where anybody actually begins to flag them down. Other than that, everyone gets a wide berth.
Alright. I'm gonna pull out my flag.
Do you have a flag?
Scarbook tribal flag.
It's drenched in blood, and he's just like,
okay.
To me.
Well, a couple of minutes pass, and then a woman in her mid-30s with kind of like brown hair that's fairly short, but she somehow managed to tie it into a very small ponytail at the back of her hair. Simple grey blouse, green skirt, and a kind of a fairly dirty apron at this point. It's got a lot of stains on it. She comes washing in with a big sigh. She's like, "Oh, another table. What can I get you?"
Do you have a menu?
Yes, we do. Hold on a second. Right, she leans, kind of yells across the bar as loud as she likes. And she says, "Victoria! Bring the menu!"
Why don't we...
Just a second.
To speed it along, why don't we start with what that table is eating? It smells delicious. It's like right in my nose. Just everything that they ordered we'll take over here.
Says, well, we can certainly arrange for that if that's what you want. Right, a much different looking young lass comes in next to her. Assuming her name is Victoria, she's got red hair tied in a bun. She's in her early 20s. She is wearing a blouse that she has deliberately, by the looks of it, cut the shoulder straps off of, and it comes incredibly low cut. Almost as low as Lilith's general clothing. She's wearing kind of like a red apron. The blouse is very kind of loose-fitting and flowing, so as to tantalizingly give just a little bit of a hint of a little more flesh than it probably should, but actually reveals nothing. She comes swanning over and she reaches forward. You notice that she's got 4 mugs of ale in her hands, like 2 in each hand, and she kind of looks down at her apron. And the other woman reaches in and grabs what appears to be a piece of paper that has been nailed or stuck to a board. With that, she hurls it on the table in front of you. Let's go ahead and add this for you guys. There you go. There is the menu for the pig and a whistle. All right, she says, right, let's see. I think we've still got everything on the menu. You got bread and cheese soup of the day, roast pork, roast pheasant, baked spindle, that's a local fish delicacy, grilled trout, mixed veg. Of course, you can have mixed veg as a side to just about any of the other dishes. We've got some warm apple pie and some hot brandy pudding for afters, if that's what you'd like. For the drinks menu, we've got Aspergian Stout, brewed right here by the brewer Asbergain himself. Grayling Ale, Spindle Porter, the Swine Heffen Ale, which you can only get right here at the Pig and Whistle, brewed specifically for this establishment, not sold anywhere else. Of course, we've got red and white wine, mead, brandy, and some imported Candoin rum.
Hey.
The Swine Heffen Ale I'll have.
Oh, it's a fine brew, to be sure.
Can we get around for that? And maybe 2 extras for the 2 dancing around joyously. I'd hate to see them stop.
You don't want to give them that? No.
Why is that?
If you want, just Grayling Ale is fine for them.
A little lightweight there, are they?
Well, it's not that. They can actually drink most under the table. It's just Swine and Heffen Ale is a silver piece. The Grayling Ale is only 3 copper pieces, and they won't notice the difference. They're so baked.
Okay. Go ahead and
waste
do that.
your money.
And well, we recently came into some, and I'm going to go ahead and just pull out like 3 gold pieces and just put it on the table and just say, we recently did some work for the guard, and we're going to be paid shortly. I'm just going to put it on the table there and like let her see it.
Okay.
And there, it's just there. And I'm just like, so maybe if we could just have the lot.
Well, you're not going to get the lot for 3 gold, but you'll get a lot of it.
That's what we're looking for.
I mean, I can definitely bring you a full round of Swine and Heffen ales and perhaps some brandy or a Candoin rum to chase it down with. The baked spindle's awfully good, I must admit, as is the roast pheasant. Perhaps I could bring you... the pheasants are not very big, and he's a big fella, so maybe I could bring you 5 orders of the roast pheasant, 5 orders of the baked spindle with some mixed veg on the side as well.
Well, for me, I'll just take your cheese tray and your finest glass of red wine, and that will be all from me, thank you.
Oh, alright. Well, so bread and cheese and a house red for you. So 4 pheasants, 4 baked spindles, and 4 Swine and Heffen ales. Are you sure you don't want to try the Swine and Heffen? It's very good. Very mild. Goes down incredibly smooth. Very strong mind. I believe the last brewing of that was coming about 9.8, I believe he said.
I'm gonna pull up one piece and I'll be like, I'll have his. I'll put it down and be like, you can keep the rest if you'd like.
He says, you'll never find better brew than what's brewed at Asbergain's brewery. Blessed by the gods it is. Blessed indeed. May winter
be left
prevail.
alone now, please.
Fine. No problem. We'll see you soon. Give us a little while to get it out. As you can see, we're very busy.
Thank you.
Alright, they scuffle off.
I hate when there's more than 3 things on a menu. It makes them talk a lot.
Yes, and then when they have specials, then they go through the entire thing. Just get on with it, please.
Why do you think I dropped the money so fast?
Oh,
Good
right.
woman. Who wants to talk to the 2 small ones? Should we pull straws?
I think that's best left for Kyla.
Hey, me. It's me.
Well, you look the friendliest of the bunch.
Yes, you fit in quite well, I believe.
I don't know, I can think of at least 3 other girls at this table who'd maybe win them over a better.
3 other... 3?
Well, her and the other 2.
What are the 2 she's speaking of?
I don't know. She's
I
speaking
don't know,
in
I
riddles.
don't get it. I only see one other girl here.
They're all a bunch of prudes.
Are you gonna go?
I'm basically. Whoa, what?
Sorry.
Togo just flew.
Go, Kyla.
I'm gonna sit at the edge of my table and try and just holler at them to get their attention. Like, hey, you two, hello. Is there a break between songs coming up?
There's a break right now.
That's it.
All right, so you're going to try to get their attention. Eventually, they spin around and they just kind of smile at you and both look at each other and raise their mugs in your general direction, like, "Hey!"
I'm proud. I'm waiting on mine.
And they carry on jigging and dancing away.
Maybe wait for them to pass out.
Yes, you could get answers from them then.
I'm not entirely out.
Maybe a note
There's
in
a
their
slow
pocket
crash.
that says we're Portland de Winters.
No, we're not going to mention the name, remember?
Oh, yes.
What was his alias again?
Octavius.
Octavius Crumb.
Right.
I'm gonna be as we're waiting. I'm gonna be looking at the other customers.
All right. Well, the younger of them waitress, the one they called Victoria, she comes and puts all your drinks down on the table. Your red glass of red wine, your swine and heffen, of which there's several, and 2 glasses of the spindle ale. And she goes, "There you go. Need anything else? Food will be out shortly." And she scuffles back off into the bar.
Okay.
So we got what time? So it's evening, right?
Yeah.
When we arrived. Okay.
Play! Come on, play! Another song! Yeah, another song!
As the halflings begin to jostle the 2 girls, who are clearly... And off they go again.
These poor people. So tomorrow we can go to the barracks and get a reward. And maybe inquire about any potential need of us around town. Beyond that, who do we have to talk to? The barman, I guess?
Well, the only person that knew anything of the last town was the most important person there. Who leads this town here? The marshal? That Tin Man?
Well, we could ask the guard, captain, sergeant guy, and he can tell us, I assume.
Yes, that would be a prudent place to start.
He would know if there was anything happening that was fishy.
Right, and as I'm shopping around perhaps for some better suited provisions for this particular team we have here, as we're so
I'm going to look at both of the magic users and just be like, apt of dying.
might need to seek out a bit of a potion brewer.
Right, and at that point, you suddenly hear crack, and a very loud thump comes from across the room at the bar.
Uh-oh.
What just seemed to happen is, you're not entirely sure exactly what transpired, but the dwarf that you was sitting up there has just punched this young fellow who's like wearing a shoulder cape with blonde hair. He's just smacked him and sent him brawling across the room. With that, the dwarf lets out a loud "Ah!" and proceeds to jump at the guy, like fist arms first, his huge, big, oversized hands going straight to the young guy's throat. And all the people kind of at the tables close by have like spun around to see what the hell is going on, including the people.
Fight!
The person at the bar, behind the bar, presumably the owner, a fairly big-looking man himself, with brown hair, again about mid-30s, big, thick, muscly arms. But he kind of like rushes to the corner where he reaches down underneath the bar and pulls out a large club. And he points the club across the bar as he slams it down loud and screams, "We'll have none of that in here! At which point you see the dwarf by now, he's grabbed the guy, thrown into the ground, and is beginning to wring his bloody neck as the guy is screaming, "Ah, ah, ah, ah." And that's a pretty good place to stop tonight. Hi there, I'm Gorbad. Welcome to the Orc's Nest. I'm the Dungeon Master here on How We Roll, and if you'd like to follow me personally, you can do so on Twitter @Gorbad. Check out thedmblog.com for all things Dungeon Master and Dungeons & Dragons related. And of course, you can follow me on twitch.tv/Gorbad. Also, guys, don't forget to keep up with all things How We Roll. Follow us on Twitter @HowWeRoll. Check out the website www.howweroll.com, and make sure you follow us on YouTube as well. Cheers, guys.
Hey guys, Dragon Spooker here for How We Roll. Thank you so much for watching tonight. For something a little different, please check out my channel, twitch.tv/thedragonspooker. For stream times, follow me on Twitter via @dragonspooker. See you next time.
Hi, I'm the Satchmo. I speak for the trees. Thank you for watching How We Roll. If you want to see some more of me, you can follow me on Twitch and Twitter @Satchmo. If not, I guess I'll just see you next episode. I love you. Take care.
What's up, you guys? It's the Snuggler here, and I am back for my second How We Roll campaign. I've been given some guidelines. One is to not name the character that I'm playing. Of course, probably gonna kill my character at some point. And two is to keep this as short as possible.
Jane is just so lazy. Oh.
So with that being said, so happy to be on my second campaign for How We Roll. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, you can do so @MaddieSweetTweet. And that's pretty much all I use. So check you there. If not, I'm always here playing for you guys.
Shaggot here. I play a character on How We Roll. I'm not going to tell you who I play because if they die, I'm going to have to redo it. Already done it once, never again. Follow me on Twitter @Aneb_convos, and I'll see you guys on How We Roll.
Hi, Jane here. You may have seen me in such films as Rise of the Fallen or Lyra vs. Legend. Thanks for watching! You can follow me on Twitter @JaneOnTwitch. That's with a 0, not an O. Anyway, I gotta go. The cats. Peace, suckers!